guys, welcome to my December favorites. We're going to be chatting about everything I loved this month. Be sure to stay tuned to next week where I'll be talking about everything that I loved throughout the year and then I'll follow up everything I hated throughout the year. That's coming next week, but today let's go ahead and get into my favorites. Now that the 12 days of foundation has come to a close, thank God, I have found so many foundations that I've loved, and you will see a wrap up coming shortly, but I did want to highlight one that I specifically wore a ton throughout the month when I wasn't testing out foundations, and that is the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation. This guy is high-end, it is luxury, but it is definitely a beautiful foundation that lives up to its claims, and that's all I can ask for of a luxury foundation. I really do feel like it is phenomenal. It has intense coverage. You can go a little bit lighter, but it definitely has that really high pigment feel where it's like, you know, some foundations where it takes quite a bit to build. This is easy to go overboard, so that is why it kind of has that like dotting tool in there and you can kind of just dot it on your skin, build lightly, and I just think that this has such a beautiful finish on the skin and it just wears really well on my oily skin. Again, very high end, but very beautiful. Something not high end and much lower coverage is the Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Concealer. I used this in a chit chat get ready with me, trying out some new makeup, and at first I wasn't totally sure about this, and I have never been a fan of CoverGirl concealers, although I love their foundations so much, but this I actually really enjoy. I'm not wearing it today because I'm wearing the Marc Jacobs foundation, and the Marc Jacobs is really high coverage. This guy's a little bit more medium, but I did use this on my forehead, down the center of my nose, and on my chin, and this is something that I have worn with lighter coverage foundations after I tested it out and really liked it. You draw it on your face, I'd kind of let it sit and then I'll pat it out. It has a very kind of light to medium coverage, but I find sometimes with lighter coverage foundations, or sorry, concealers, that can really make you look a little bit gray and sickly under the eyes, and this does not do that. It has a really beautiful finish, and that's kind of what the Elixir line is about. It's definitely lighter, more natural skin, although the foundation is kind of full coverage. I don't know that I would even pair them together, but it is a really nice concealer. Only downfall here is that I'm wearing the shade medium deep, I think, which is definitely not deep at all, so hopefully they'll be coming out with this in the CoverGirl Queen line. I don't know, that doesn't come to Canada, but the concealer itself is really beautiful and light, both in color and coverage. It is very rare that I have a primer in a favorites video, let alone a primer that I even just want to talk about, because they don't seem to do much for my skin. This one, however, I have really been enjoying, especially paired with the Marc Jacobs foundation, but I have tried it with a bunch of other ones as well. This is the Porefessional from Benefit, but this is their Pearl Primer. Now, I'm a little bit useless in the fact that I don't know how well the original Porefessional works for me. I've had samples of that, but I've never really tested it out. This, however, I have really been enjoying. I don't necessarily see the pearl benefit to my skin, but I do love the way that it looks on my skin, and I don't need like a pearly shine anyways. It has a little bit of a pink tint, but nothing that comes through under the foundation. I find it really does leave my skin looking smooth, but it doesn't have that greasy slip that some primers can have, and I feel like it does help with the wear and the longevity of my makeup. It doesn't necessarily keep me matte all day, but my foundation definitely does look really good when I wear this underneath it. A lipstick that I want to mention is from the Too Faced Sweet Peach collection. This one is in the shade Sex on the Beach. It is all I'm wearing on my lips right now. No, Sex on the Peach, sorry. It is just, first of all, so adorable, really gorgeous packaging, but I really do love the formula and the shade. The shade is actually a little bit unique to my collection. I own a lot of lipsticks. I'm sure I have something similar, but it's definitely unique to what I've been grabbing for it lately. It has this kind of mauviness to it, but it's not too pale or light on my skin. The formula is also really creamy. I've been wearing so many liquid lipsticks, also getting back into glosses. It has been really nice just to reach for a more kind of traditional lipstick, but it still is matte, it's creamy, it has good wear time, and I've really been enjoying it. I have a few of the other shades too, and they're all really consistent throughout the line, but this shade especially has stuck out to me. All of the new Wet n Wild items that have launched have just taken the beauty world by storm. I every single day get questions, where is it? When is it coming? Where is it gonna be? I don't know. I know that it launched on the Wet n Wild website. It will be showing up in stores, but any drugstore launch doesn't have a specific date that it launched. Depends where you live, what city, what drugstore you're going to, so just keep your eyes peeled. But it is coming. It just probably will take some time to get to Canada. That being said, I have been loving the retractable brow pencil. It reminds me a lot of the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Lift or Brow Lift, whatever it's called. It has that kind of triangle style tip, so it's not going to give you incredibly precise brow hairs, but I don't really need that. I just need a little bit of filling in, a little bit of arch work, or just a few things here and there. I'm not looking to create an entire brow, and this is, I think, $5.99. It is a great option. There are 3 different shades in the range, or 4, maybe 5. It'll be listed down below. I, in general, wear ash brown. It's what I'm wearing on my brows today. It's just a really great brow product, and I've said this before, but the drugstore has really stepped up their game when it comes to brow products, especially if it's something that you're going to be running through quite often. It's getting more and more difficult to spend like $25 on a brow product when you can get such a good one for $5. Bourjois is a brand that I have a little bit of experience with, primarily with their lip products, which I think they do a fantastic job on, and then also their mascaras. They have another mascara that I love. I made my boyfriend pick it up in Serbia because it was cheaper there. It is, however, available in Canada at Shoppers Drug Mart. In the United States, I'm not totally sure. I think it's a little harder to get your hands on, but I think Look Fantastic or Beautylish, one of those websites, sells it. Either way, they have released a new mascara that I have been loving. It is the Radiant Black Volume Reveal Mascara, and this is so good. I have an Instagram demo, which I will link to down below if you'd like to see it before and after. Wearing it on my eyelashes today, and as always, as I say with all of my favorite mascaras, gives a really beautiful balance of volume and length, but definitely on the length side, but it still doesn't skimp on the volume. I think that this is just such a good mascara, really, really black. I have no issues with clumping or transfer or any kind of smudginess on my eyes. It wears really nice, super black. It is quite a wet formula. It does take a little bit of building, but when you get there, it just gives such nice results, and it does have a mirror on it if you need to mascara on the go. This next product is a lip balm that I've been wanting to mention for like several favorites videos, but for whatever reason I just always forget to mention it, and it's kind of one of those like forgotten favorites because it's something I use every single day, and this is the Biotherm Plump and Glow Aqua Source Lip Balm. This has no real tint to it, just ever so slightly, but I love using this under lipsticks. I also use it in any of my foundation reviews where I'm coming on here with basically no makeup. I put a little bit of this on because I hate the look of like crusty lips in the beginning of a video, and it doesn't really do a ton of plumping. Like, it doesn't have like that feeling to it, but it does plump in the sense that it gives your lips a really juicy kind of, not fresh, what would I call it, like just a juicy flushed look to the lips, but again, it doesn't have a ton of pigment in here. It feels really, really comfortable. Great moving into winter as well if it's something you want to just keep in your bag to throw on your lips to protect them, but it has just that little hint of color so that if you are wearing makeup, you can easily throw this on and it just pairs really well with anything. Brushes are something that I always forget to mention for whatever reason. They become a part of your routine and they don't get thrown into my favorites videos. I do have a favorite brush video, which I will link to down below, but I'm pretty sure I purchased this after the fact. I bought this at IMATS here in Toronto, and it's the Royal & Langnickel Moda line, the Moda Metals, I believe, and this is their blush brush, but I like to use this as a powder brush. It's too big. It really reminds me of the Real Techniques blush brush, which, I mean, it does come to a point you could blush with it, but it's just not the style of brush that I reach for blush. That is really hard to get through. But I do really love this for powders that are loose, powders that are more dense. It just is a nice kind of like targeted way. I don't love super fluffy powder brushes because I really want to make sure I'm covering my entire face in powder to ensure the longevity of my makeup. So I feel like this has enough density to pick up the product to target all the areas on my face, but it still has that nice fluffiness to it. And the Royal & Langnickel brushes, especially at IMATS, were incredibly affordable. I'm not sure where they're available like in store, but I know you can buy them at a lot of online retailers, and I've really liked all the brushes I've tried from them, and this one is definitely my favorite. I have one skincare item that I want to mention, and I did a recent moisturizers for oily skin video. I have 2 of them. They will be linked down below. This one came in after the fact, and I have been loving it, using it all throughout December, day and night. It is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Gel Cream, and now whenever I see the words gel cream, I know that I'm gonna love it. This is so nice, so lightweight, has a cooling feeling on the skin, which feels amazing at both in the day, in the night. It's so lightweight on the skin. It absorbs quickly, but not too quickly. It does feel like it's hydrating your skin. In the day, I'll use it on its own. In the nighttime, sometimes I'll add a facial oil to it if I really want to give it a boost. I've been trying out this entire line and really, really enjoying it. This item has stuck out to me the most, and I know a lot of you are looking for good drugstore skincare options, so I'm working on doing like an affordable drugstore skincare hair video for oily skin, but this is definitely really, really beautiful. They also have an SPF in the line, which I haven't tested out really much yet, but I will report back on kind of the entire line in that video, but this has really impressed me. Lastly, I have two hair items that I want to mention. The first one here is from Alterna. This is their Caviar Infinite Color Hold Top Coat Shine Spray. Look how much of this I have used. If you have noticed, I have had a blowout on and off throughout December and maybe a little bit in November, but I loved reaching for this to kind of rejuvenate my hair every day, add a little bit of shine. It doesn't really have any hold, but it kind of just like puts things back together. I've also been loving it on my curly hair day 2 and day 3, and it really does add shine, but it is so lightweight. I had my blowout for like 12 days. I did not wash my hair. You may think that's gross, but if you have curly hair like mine, you understand that it doesn't get greasy, and I was like, why am I gonna wash out these beautiful curls? I started wearing it in a side ponytail and I really, really loved it, but it did get a little bit dull, and this really did a good job adding the shine back, but because it's so lightweight, it didn't weigh my hair down, make it feel greasy or heavy. So I think that just about any hair type could use this, whether you're wearing it curly or straight. It's more fine, it's more kind of coarse, or my hair is kind of on the medium side. It just is really, really nice, and you only need a tiny, tiny little bit to add a really nice impactful shine on your hair. And then when I wasn't wearing my hair out or didn't really care about shine, I was probably wearing it in a ponytail or a bun. And I have mentioned kind of hold gels before, and they've all been really, really intense. And this one is still quite intense. It's from Shoeamour Maura. Either way, you know what I'm getting at. This one is in the holiday Super Mario packaging, which is super cute. But I really like this because it's a little bit lighter than a lot of the other hold gels that I use. A lot of those I have to kind of spray something else in my hand to make sure they're not too waxy. But this is kind of somewhere in between a wax and a cream, and you need the tiniest amount, the tiniest. If you want to slick your hair back, if you're looking to hold some flyaways, whatever it may be, you only need a little bit. It is definitely on the heavier side, but it still doesn't feel super gloopy or gross. It just does a phenomenal job slicking my hair back, adding a little bit of shine to it, but at the same time, the next day I can still add a little bit more in if I want to get another like day out of my ponytail or something like that. So I have been really liking this because it kind of has that hybrid texture that's not like a pure gel, but it adds the hold of a gel, but has a more of like a thick cream consistency. So for my subscriber of the month, I'm gonna do something cheesy, cliche, probably lame, but it is absolutely true. You are all my subscriber of the month, of the year, of my life. I just appreciate you all so much. I wish I could give each and every one of you an individual shout out, but I truly do appreciate you. I don't want to get into this too much because I already talked about it in my holiday giveaway video, which just went up, and as I mentioned, that is just a small token of my appreciation. If you missed that video, there are 5 different winners. I will link to that down below. Tons of great stuff to be won, and it's just a little way to say thank you for all of your support this year, and I really, 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 really appreciate it. So thank you so much. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!